Antes de começar este vídeo, algumas orientações importantes, porque vocês sabem, runner ajuda runner. Se inscreva, curta e compartilha. E agora bora pro vídeo. Olá amigos runners, tudo bem com vocês? Bom, hoje eu tô aqui com uma das pessoas que mais me emocionaram aí nos últimos tempos na ultramaratona. Eu vi um vídeo dele que vocês compartilharam aí nos grupos de WhatsApp e eu não conhecia a história, né? E aí quando eu vi o vídeo ali eu me emocionei bastante. Eu falei assim, por que não tentar fazer uma entrevista com ele? Né? Por que não tentar trazer ele aqui para o canal para a gente escutar um pouquinho como que foi ele tá enfrentando a Brasil 135 durante 2013 e ter conseguido concluir os 217 quilômetros. Portanto, hoje eu tenho a honra aí de estar conversando com André Kajlich. Well, André, first of all, thank you to accept my invitation to my channel, to this interview. And I was talking with the people how unbelievable was your achievement during Brazil 135 miles. And I received your video 2 weeks ago.
Almost there to the top of the first
de crisólia e deu um problema no guiador da cadeira e
That you complete all the 135 miles in a wheelchair, and it was unbelievable, it was amazing, and the people just don't have nothing to say because it was amazing, just amazing. So it's an honor to have you here and listen to you to Brazil. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks for inviting me. Happy to be on your show. And yeah, it was of course just incredible and amazing to participate. Such a challenging race, and for me, totally new experience both in Brazil and also in ultramarathon. I had never done anything even close to this. I came quite naive, and it was just an incredible atmosphere, and really fun to be out there and doing something crazy.
Yes, and tell to us a little bit about your story before Brazil 135 and why did you to participate in Brazil 135?
Sure. Yeah. Well, I'd come back. I was living in Prague in the Czech Republic.
Mm-hmm.
I had been there before and had this accident in the subway. Mm-hmm. And when I came back to the States, after resuming my studies there, I got introduced to triathlon was sort of my first experience. And I wasn't doing much. I had grown up doing sports every kind. One year in high school, cross country, and 5Ks were painful.
Okay.
And I enjoyed it, but didn't really do anything else in sort of endurance sports, and ended up at this charity triathlon, and I quite liked it, and continued. So I guess within 1 year I had gotten a hand cycle so I could do a full triathlon myself, and participated in world championships in Kona of Ironman. And through that, I just met other wheelchair athletes, and listening to some podcasts, I heard of this word ultra kind of the first time. And because I was enjoying this progression, and I was, looking for more adventure.
Okay.
And I came across actually Badwater first.
Okay.
And just something that I had heard on a podcast, so it seemed like the race, and something that I could see myself doing in a wheelchair. And so I I think I started by contacting that race director and got a pretty firm no, you can't participate. Actually, he still keeps saying no, but I stopped asking because there's plenty other fun things to do. But I saw Brazil 135 was a qualifier. And because I was having a difficult time getting yes from a race director, I actually, it's not the only thing I think of when I think of Brazilians, but crazy is one of the words. So I thought maybe this Brazilian would let me participate. So I wrote an email. Honestly, my first thought was, if I finish a qualifier, then they will let me do bad water. I didn't know much about the race, and I emailed. I knew it was off-road and I would have to figure some things out for my equipment, but emailed Mario. We had a little back and forth, and basically he said, yes, I accept this challenge. I was telling you, he said, let's show the world what a intrepid athlete and a crazy race director can do. And he helped put together a team for support. I brought some friends down to crew, and I knew it was dirt roads. I knew there was one short section of this single track. So I called up a wheel manufacturer and asked, can you help modify my wheelchair? So we got some off-road tires on it, and it seemed to go through the woods up here pretty well. And I was not on anything nearly as steep as the hills in the Mantiqueira Mountains. So I came quite naive and just started the race and started, trying to climb hills. And yeah, that was how I ended up there, just purely by sort of curiosity in ultras. I remember leaving to head down, and I just thought, I'm either going to love this or hate it, and I will find out.
Okay. So when you had the accept about from Mario, how much time did you have to train? Did you have the difficulties in the race?
Yeah, I don't think it was too long. I would have to check to remember, but I think it was a matter of months. Of course, I had to get some equipment built, and then I was in Seattle, trying to find some off-road areas to train, but the training was not adequate at all. I mean, the very first hill was totally had to change, my technique, we'll say, and I was going so slow, and it was so steep that you push on the rims of the chair, but it was really too difficult. So I had to get further out, and I put my hands in the spokes, and I was pushing, using my fingers, and just 6 inches, maybe like 10 centimeters, 20 centimeters at a time, very, very slow. So I remember on the first hill, maybe halfway up, just thinking, wow, this better be the steepest, hardest part of the whole race, or I'm in trouble. And yeah, then I started thinking, just everybody who does this is so crazy. Not even in a good way. I was thinking, this is horrible. I can't believe I'm here. It's stupid, really was kind of crossing my mind. Just much more than I anticipated, and it really took 24 hours of grinding until that kind of changed. And I actually had a bit of an experience that made me really not care how long it took. I started enjoying being out there, and from then on, it was really challenging and tiring and all of these things, but really a wonderful experience.
Yes. I was watching the video, and I think it was Davey who said this was definitely not in the website when you are doing the trail, the single trail.
Yeah, it's very very hard, as I'm sure any runner out there knows that tries to show a photograph or even video of what they've done, because you really can't show how steep it is and how difficult. You must be out there and experience it yourself. So Yeah, on the website it didn't look so hard.
It was the most difficult part of the Brazil, or after that you had more difficulties in the race?
Yeah, I forget the names of all of the sections. I do remember one night going up a hill, which was very big rocks, and it was just very slow and almost impossible to get the chair over each rock. And so
okay.
Just very, very slow progress. I thought in my mind before I went down that yes, I will be slow climbing, but then we will have these descents and I will be very fast and catch the runners. But it as it turned out, the downhills were also very difficult. You know, the roads obviously are washed out and have these deep ravines, and it was so steep and on the loose dirt that it was hard to control. And so again, I had never practiced this kind of descending. So my wheelchair has one front brake. The small wheel in the front is the only thing stopping, and it just locks up, so you lose control. And so I was putting my hand on the back wheel trying to grab it and stop. And so through all of that, my hands were just really injured and my wrists really hurting. And it wasn't as fun going down as I thought. At one point, we even tied a rope to the back. This was probably one of the first difficult descents. And David would run behind and try to slow me down, you know, with this rope. And that was hard for him, and it didn't work very well anyway. So just learning as we went, I found a technique that worked. But I think almost every part of that race is very, very challenging. There's a little bit of road and a little bit of flat, but not much.
Yes. So this is curious. You learned how to deal with Brazil 135 during the race.
Yeah, absolutely. I think it also was a good thing, because maybe I wouldn't have come. You know, I mean, I don't know. I think I like a challenge, but you know, it was so difficult that I wouldn't have really expected to finish, and maybe wouldn't have come in the first place. So then I was out there and we had to try. So I think that's one of the nice things about Brazil 135 and these other adventures I take on. You go and you just don't know, but when you're there, you're only focused on what you're doing right now. And so before, you might, you know, tell yourself it's too hard, or you get thinking about the concerns and worrying, and when you're there, you just deal with it, you know, and hopefully keep going, you know. So it was, you know, it was nice because I would learn, you know, how to do something better, and the next hill, of course, you're a bit weaker, and but your technique is better, so improving as we went. Yeah.
So for you, what was more difficult, to up hills or down hills because of the brake stuff situation?
Yeah, I think ultimately uphill, it was still more difficult. There was definitely some areas where I had to get off the chair, and you know, I would pull it up with a rope. I was, you know, pretty adamant that David not help. You know, it was so steep that every push, then I would roll backwards, and we were worried, or the crew was mostly worried, that if I miss the wheels, then I'm going fast backwards and have some accident. So David would start coming behind me and only stop my progress. And I kept saying, like, don't push, you know, don't push. So yeah, uphill, they're the steepest dirt roads, I think, still that I have found.
Yes. And the single track part is the let me translate to you, God free the ridge. Serra do Deus me livre in Portuguese. Yes.
Yeah, I remember we were joking because they're really like I don't know, either cows or donkeys, you know. It's like the only thing going there except for, I guess, people on the pilgrimage route and ultra marathon runners. So yeah, not made for casual strolls or for a wheelchair.
Yes. This part is 33 kilometers to the city of Águas da Prata. We used to say that the ultramarathons that try to speed up a lot in this part will get tired after that, or won't finish the race, because this part is so difficult. It's the most difficult part in the race.
Yeah, I think I was only glad that the other participants were walking up the hill, because they
yes, I saw this
they
part.
passed me more slowly. Yes. And if they were just running with ease, I would have probably been more depressed, you know, at the time. So I knew it was hard for everybody, at least.
Yes, you questioned David about that, if everyone was running in this part. Yes, I saw in the video.
Yeah.
And I saw one part that you had to cross the water with your wheelchair. And did it rain during the race or not?
No, we had no rain. Actually, that's not totally true. Much later, there was a little rain. The next time I did it, there was, well, actually, even in the video, there's some rain, but it was not very long. I think it was quite dry around that time for 2013. The next time I came, there was more rain. I mean, the course handles the water quite well. I think it's pretty used to having a lot of rain in the region. But yeah, adds some challenge. I remember getting mud, you know, on the wheels, and then there's no real control. So pushing became very hard, and we wrapped rope, you know, around the rim, so I had some grip, but it definitely made it much more difficult.
Yes. With rain, the Brazil is other kind of race, because it's a lot of mud in the roads, and it's in the downhills. It is almost difficult.
Treacherous,
yeah. Yes. And I was seeing the video that you used a lot of gloves. How many gloves did you use in there?
Well, I think I had something like 5 pairs, but I would say that I used, you know, 10 or 20, because I was constantly repairing them, you know, and giving them to my team, who would glue material on them and try to repair them, because they were totally shredded quite quickly. And and my hands were a mess. Many blisters and cuts. They were basically numb to pain, and it was brutal. Pretty brutal. I mean, it's also bad for your feet, of course. I think I've seen some pretty disturbing photographs of people's feet. But then with the friction and going downhill, it all made a mess of my hands. But there was a good medical staff, and they were constantly, you know, fixing my blisters, and they kept me going.
Yes. And I saw in the video too that before you get to Ouro Fino city, your wheelchair broke. What happened in there to broke the wheelchair?
Yeah, we were coming down one mountain. It was approaching 24 hours in the race. And I hit a big rock with my front wheel, and it snapped a bolt which holds the steering. And so my front wheel is just flopping, which means when I push, it really doesn't go. So I managed to get to the bottom of the hill, and I remember my crew saying, you know, maybe we can get this fixed. And I was also in a very bad mood and very tired and grumpy.
Yes.
And I told them, come on, they don't have parts for a wheelchair here, and I'm done. And actually for me, it was like the exit, you have something happen and, oh, at least I don't have to continue. I have an excuse. So they told me to take a nap. That was the first nap. I think I had two for the whole race, 20 minutes. And I got up and they said, there's a town in 5 kilometers. So let's just get there at least. And I was not that excited about it, but I continued, like one push and then turn my wheel, and then one push, turn my wheel, but we got there. And they said they found a motorcycle repair shop. So we sat down and I had some lunch, and I remember there was a old man sitting on his porch, and he had a big stereo, and it was like a talk radio.
Okay.
And his speakers were just to the street, very loud, and we were kind of laughing, like, what is he doing? So we sat there eating, and he walked over to us, and my friend is from Portugal. He was with me, and so he was translating, and he says, this man asked you to come to his house if you'd like to sleep. He has a new mattress, and you will be very comfortable. And by that time, the chair was about fixed. So I said, no, thank you. It was very sweet, and just kind of left a mark, a really kind gesture. And honestly, the rest and the food and this old man, like, totally changed my attitude. And so they fixed the chair, which I was shocked. And 1 hour before, I would have said, I don't care. I don't need the chair because I'm done. But at this moment, I said, I don't care if this takes me 2 months to finish. Like, we're going. Let's do this. And really from there, it was, hard, very hard. But I didn't care. We were then on a mission, and it's just started to have this very warm feeling about the event.
Yes, because the people believed in you in that time,
Yeah, it was nice. I certainly, I don't want to let anybody down, but also I feed off of the reaction. It's always a good reaction, people cheering, and they're also participating. So it's nice to keep each other going.
Yes. When we do this race, the 10 cities that pass this race, the people in there, they help us. So if you say, oh, I am doing the Brazil 135, so they just help you with. This is fantastic. That region in Brazil is fantastic.
It's incredible.
Yes.
I remember people bringing food.
Yes.
We would enter a town, and in the center, some lady would bring some food. One of the towns we passed through, near the end, they're cheering and lighting off fireworks, and it was amazing. It's like a new energy, and just such a cool experience. And then also people practicing for Carnival.
Okay.
Entering a town like early in the morning, and you come out of the jungle and you just hear this music, and like wonderful.
Yes, and here in Brazil, the people listen to sound of loud. Yes, this is common here.
It's good music for a runner, especially a tired runner, to rejuvenate.
Yes. And how did you deal with the sleep in Brazil?
I didn't have much of a plan. It was just go and go. I think in my mind, I was aiming to finish in 48 hours. So I think we thought one 20-minute nap in 24 hours, and then just go for the finish. But also I just didn't have experience in ultras, so I slept after my equipment broke for 20 minutes, and then I don't know, maybe 48 hours or so in, I slept more like 45 minutes or so. Maybe one quick nap by some church, you know, in a town center. And yeah, we just very limited, very limited sleep.
Yes, we are with the adrenaline too high, and we didn't think to sleep in that time. I think.
Yeah, no, it's all about just keeping progress, keeping moving, but it was good. I mean, I've done other races since then with very little sleep. So it was good practice. I did one race which was 12 days long, and I slept just 90 minutes every night, and it's hard to do without experience to know a little bit about how you handle it, and also just mentally, when you're exhausted, you become a bit of a chicken, right? You just want to stop, or you get cold easier, and all of these things. So knowing that you will wake up, you will bounce back, just keep moving, and the moments of being totally tired and sleepy are short, you know, and then you're going again. So anyways, yeah, it's a good first experience. And also it's a bit of a bragging right? It's part of the, I don't know, machismo of it, but there's something about like powering through and going so far in such a short amount of time.
Yes. And what did you bring during the race to eat, to drink? Did you have any strategy before that?
Not really. My nutrition has changed a lot since that first race. I think we literally went to grocery store and had a bunch of food and candy. I had some soup out there. Again, people bringing me food. I think the only thing probably I brought was some, electrolyte drink. But yeah, I mean, since then I've learned, so much. I was doing these multi-day races where I'm consuming, 10,000 plus calories, and it's hard to get that much in you. So having a good nutrition, I like something which has everything in fluid, calories, electrolytes, and it's very simple. And then I try to have whatever it is, 1 bottle per hour, and then supplement with some real food here and there, but at least you have some baseline nutrition. So yeah, I would probably do much better with nutrition. I do remember one point in the race, you enter a paved road, and it's very, very steep. Not on the mountain top, Pico de Gavião, something similar.
Okay. The Gavião Peak.
Gavião Peak. I was very close. I'm surprised. After that, there's another section where you're on very steep road, and then you reach some like cattle area of cows, and then there's a lake, a small lake.
Okay.
And I arrived there, I think midnight or 2 a.m. with David, and there's a small pension, and they asked if we want some food. And so she brought out this bowl, I think she called macaroni or spaghetti, but it was like pasta. Everything, pasta.
Yes.
A huge bowl, like this big. And David and I sat there with the bowl and 2 forks, and just sitting with the lake in the middle of the night, and ate the whole thing. And just a really magical moment. But it's awesome that there's this network out there, so really you can find some good food along the way.
Yes, this pasta, macarrão that we call here, it's usually to us during the Brazil, Uh, the Gavião Peak, the race now actually doesn't go to the Gavião Peak anymore. This part we don't go to there. But we have this pasta in the Serra dos Lima, in the Dona Natalina pension now. We have this pasta in there, and then we get in the pension and we eat the macarrão in there. Yes.
Is that by a lake?
No, now no.
Okay, so
yes.
different place.
Yes, when you in 2013, the Brazil go to the Gavião Peak. Is one of the highest point of the race. But now Mário Lacerda quit this Gavião Peak.
Well, I think it's bad and good because it's very steep spot.
Yes, but we are usually to eat pasta during the ultramarathons because of the carb. It gives us a lot of energy.
Yeah, well, I ate some very good food. One of my crew members, he's down in Brazil and Argentina very often, and so he came with me, and every time we'd go through a town, he would go find food and come back with like a big chicken and all of the best things. I ate a lot of different things and very good food.
Yes. What kind of typical food from Brazil did you eat here?
Gosh, I especially during the trip,
Feijoada.
Feijoada.
Yes.
I'm gonna forget the name. I want to say like faraca, or it's almost like a polenta, but quite different.
Polenta?
No. Well, we will see. But also, obviously, lots of meats. And one of my favorites is in the start of the meal, you have the chicken hearts.
Okay.
To begin. And right off the barbecue, a very nice pop of flavor and warm.
Okay. The barbecue here in Brazil is fantastic also. But I think that in Argentina is better than here.
Yeah, I was just in a party here with a Argentinian chef, and he had 3 full lambs on the fire. It was very good.
Yes, I can imagine.
Farofa, is that?
Yes, farofa.
Yeah, okay.
Yes.
I think quite typical. Good stuff.
Yes.
Yeah, it's been a while. I must go back and become familiar with the food again. I also remember going into little stores, and there's so much fruit that we don't have, that I never even saw in my life. So they are making these, smoothies. So I point at the lists, something I saw before, and then watch them prepare. And I say, wow, what is this? Like avocado, that's this big.
Okay. Yes.
Yeah, amazing variety there.
Yes. I like avocado as a juice. But for instance, the people from Colombia, they eat avocado as salad, like tomatoes and.
Yeah. We put it in salad pretty regularly up here, but I never saw one so big. It was gigantic.
Yes, we have a lot of fruits here because of the jungle and the Amazonian jungle here and the other forests that we have here.
And yeah, good bananas. Like you go to the grocery store here, it's getting better. Now people recognize there's bananas that taste like something. But incredible fruit.
Yes. And back to the Brazil, after the Orofino situation about your wheelchair that you was fixed in there, how was the course after that?
I think I kept waiting for it to get easier. There are definitely some sections that are more meandering, not so steep and hilly. But there's always some difficult section ahead. So, while I do think the first climb in the jungle is tough, then I was pretty weak and pretty tired, and so any hill became quite a challenge. So yeah, it in my mind didn't change so much. There's definitely the sections that were easier, that were really beautiful and nice to just enjoy, but for the most part I just remember head down, push, and yeah, it was good. Actually, on the plane ride home, I was asleep and just dreaming the whole time that I'm back on the trail, back on the Camino, and I would wake up and it was like a nightmare that I had to do it again. Yeah, it's stuck in that world for a while after.
How many days did you take to forget the Brazil 135?
I still didn't forget. But I don't want to. I mean, really only good memories. I was a little traumatized, yes, for 1 week, but otherwise just I miss it. I'd love to come back.
Yes. You were saying to me that you are planning to come back here one day.
Yeah, it's challenging, of course, with time and other projects and work and family. But yeah, my crew member David Grinley, who many people will remember, was with me really the whole way and is in the video. Yeah, he battled cancer and came through the other side. It was very, very serious, stage 4, and yeah, is healthy again. And yeah, we made a promise to go back down together and do it again 1 year. So we'll see when, but I must.
Okay, we will meet in there.
Great.
Yes, and by the end of the race, what is your final time?
It was 62 hours, maybe 62 and a half. Yeah, I actually don't think I was disappointed. It was clear that 48 hours was not going to happen. So I definitely then made the adjustment goal, 60 hours I wanted to finish. But it was, something new, and there's really nothing to go on, and the first to try something like that, it's always takes a little bit longer. I'm sure the cutoff gets established, with some experience. So I wasn't disappointed. I was just happy to have kept going and finished. And I felt like a I don't know, champion, but I felt pretty good just for having finished it and to keep going. It's a long time to be out there.
Yes, you were amazing, because this year the last athlete to finish Brazil took 105 hours.
Wow.
Yes.
Yeah, that's a really, really long time to be out there. But yeah, I had such a great reception. Some runners meeting me before the finish line, and then I came. It was already nighttime, and yeah, there was a nice crowd of people to bring me home.
Did you expect that when you?
No, not at all. I actually I feel really bad. I don't remember his name. He was the champion many times, I think.
Eduardo Calixto.
Eduardo, yes. Eduardo, he finished, of course, in 24 hours or 22 hours. Yeah, amazing. And when I came to the edge of Parasopolis, he was there, and he ran with me to the finish line. And I remember just thinking that was just incredible, for for him, of course, to be tired still from his race, but also, yeah, there was a nice moment, and it meant a lot. Meant a lot to me, and so yeah, to come and see people, and of course Mario there at the finish. It was a fun moment, and we have some video, so I've definitely watched that many times. It was very special.
Yes, other person that helped you a lot during the course of the race was Monica Otero.
Yeah, so when I first spoke with Mario, he immediately put me in touch with Monica and said she's gonna take care of you, and she's phenomenal. I mean, we were not prepared at all for going out there, and there's really no way we would have finished without her experience and preparations. And she hosted us in her house also. And when I came back, again, she's just such a wonderful and an amazing also athlete and woman. So I was lucky to have her help.
Yes. She's amazing. She's fantastic. I received the medal in the finish line this year by her.
Yeah. Yes. Oh wow.
Yes.
Yeah, Monica, you're amazing. Thank you so much. It meant everything.
Yes, for sure she will watch us here. For sure. And
Monica.
And how could you describe the moment that you crossed the line? What did you feel in that moment?
I think it was like a summation of just really a love for the event. It's hard to like say you love an event because it's obviously much more than that. It's the difficulty. The other athletes, the other crews, Mario, Monica, like everybody involved, it has this amazing atmosphere and family, and it was cool to be a part of. And so at the end, it was like I just woke up after a long sleep. Like I felt great, full of energy, so happy. And then Mario wanted me to get checked out by the medics, and so I went there, and then they took me to the clinic just to really wash my hands. And I remember then I started really shaking, and just fatigue just came over me, and I was then ready for sleep, ready for nothing else, no more celebrating. But yeah, it was very joyous, wonderful feeling to have completed.
Yes. And how was your recovery after the race?
Yeah, I remember just being even on the plane home. I think it was a couple days later. Just felt like I had been through some war, like totally just destroyed body, and tired, fatigued, and I think a lot of it was that I didn't have so many miles in my body. Whenever you do so much more than your previous experience, it really breaks you down. So you kind of feel like you're starting over, and getting back to training is like starting with very, very small amounts, and kind of building your body back up from nothing. So yeah, I was broken, very broken. And I think when I came back, it was probably January. So not a lot going on in Seattle, not riding my bike much. So I think I just did nothing for quite a while.
Yes. After an ultra marathon, we need to have a rest for a couple of days.
Yeah, it's good to be lazy also for a while, and
yes.
And then it starts to pull you back in, and you get excited about the next thing, the next challenge, and probably need to lose some weight and get moving again.
Yes. You said to me that Brazil was a craziest thing that you done today. Would you do Brazil again that time in 2013? If you know all the difficulties that you have, would you do?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it was one of still the favorite things that I've done. You know, period. Beyond racing, just one of my favorite experiences. And yeah, I got a lot out of it. A lot of great moments and friends and memories. So yeah, of course, I would do it again, and I will.
Okay. Perfect. And now you have a lot of race that you already did after Brazil, but do you think Brazil was the most complicated compared to the other that you did, or not? Or did you have other
I think
challenges?
Some of the other things I did were probably more complicated, a lot of logistics and longer periods of time. So I did race across America on my bicycle, which was 5,000 kilometers in 12 days on a bicycle, and that was a little different because I would sleep 90 minutes, but there's really this bigger break, some recovery, and keep going. And the duration, 12 days, is a long time to keep moving. And then I was recently in Argentina. We did almost 2,000 miles from Laguna del Carbon to climb Aconcagua. So there was also very complicated because we were riding our bikes and then trekking in and then climbing the mountain. But I think Brazil still holds its weight in the difficulty, because of all of those, the hardest parts were like Brazil was the whole time that hard. So it's definitely one of the hardest races I think that there is. Just because it's so much climbing, so steep, and just hill after hill or mountain after mountain, and you finally descend, come into some small town, and as soon as you exit, it's right back to climbing, just over and over and over again.
Yes.
But it's worth it. It's still worth it.
And after the achievement in Brazil, did you read back to the director of Badwater? Oh, I complete Brazil 135. Could I participate to Badwater?
Yeah, I did several times, several years, and I still got a no from him. I think they also had their challenges with the park, because the races are taking place in Death Valley National Park, and if I'm not mistaken, one of the races was canceled. They had a new superintendent of the park, and they wouldn't allow them. So I think part of it is just difficult for them to keep their race, and it's a bit of a risk, I suppose. I don't think it's as risky as Brazil. The terrain is on a road compared to all of the crazy roads that you cover in Brazil. And but in any case, I also have a lot of other options. You must pay to do these things, and if I shouldn't beg somebody to give them my money. So I figure there's other things to do. So I'm not sad about it. I've done much more, I think, enjoyable adventures.
Yes. I think the adventure that you said to me to run across USA 5,000 kilometers was more amazing.
Thank you. And yeah, I would much rather do, and I think anybody looking for a good ultra marathon, I would say if you have choice between Brazil and Badwater, I mean, Brazil is everything you could dream of. It's no reason to go do any other race before it. I think it's still my favorite.
And as I was telling to you when we are talking before this interview starting, we now have several other ultramarathons here in Brazil. We have a ultramarathon. I forgot to tell you about that. That is called the Bad Y.
The Bad Y.
Yes, because it looks like with the bad weather conditions, with the temperature.
Oh wow!
Yes.
And where is it?
It,
in Brazil? Where in Brazil?
In the north of Minas Gerais, the state. I don't know.
And is it a dry area?
Yes.
Also.
Yes.
Dry, no, yeah.
A dry area. I don't know if you know the word is sertão.
I don't know.
Yes, it's a dry area. There are a lot of how can I say that powder in the roads.
Yeah.
Yes.
Is it on a paved road or also off road?
Off road. Yes.
The race.
Yes. The race.
Nice. I will have to look at this one.
Yes. And I was saying to you about the Casino Ultra Race, South Extreme, the two ultramarathons in the Casinos Beach, the biggest beach in the world, and we have a lot of options here in Brazil now.
Nice. Any excuse to come back. I would love to find some more.
Mm-hmm. Okay, perfect. And André, just to finish our interview, I would like that you leave a message to the Brazilian people that admires you a lot. They are always sending your video in WhatsApp and Facebook. Please leave a message to Brazilian people.
Well, I guess most importantly, thank you. I mean, everybody who received me with open arms and helped and supported my trip. It meant a lot to me, hopefully as much, maybe more than it means to any of you. Such a beautiful place. My wife and I both were really just in love with people. I mean, I think you hear it a lot as Brazilians, but we thought, oh, we would live here. It's just incredible. It's a magical place with some of the funnest and most loving people that I've ever come across in the world. So other than that, just have fun and try hard things. And I think it does a lot for the soul.
Okay, so perfect. But well, André, so thank you to accept my invitation to this interview. It was a pleasure to talk with you, to know about your challenge in Brazil that you had here, and I hope that you will come to Brazil again next year.
Yes, Mario, I'll be in touch.
Yes, I was talking with Mario last week that we have a live here in my channel, and I said to him, oh, I received an answer by André to have an interview, and he just celebrated this. Nice.
Yes, I definitely love to talk about the race and experience. Is definitely, like I said, it's one of the best experiences of my life, and it's amazing that he put on such a great event that has become something so wonderful, and I miss it.
Okay, so thank you, André, and have a nice day.
Thank you. See you.